Good evening. Can we say triggered? That was much the feeling, not much the feeling, but that was at least some the feeling in DC today. Wow, was it interesting to watch those live streams? So anyway, first off, I seen, I think it's the channel's Prepper Nation. He has polls that he puts up when he does live streams sometimes. And I'm like, I got to figure out how to do that. So I figured, well, I'll figure it out. I Googled it and found out how to do it. It's right there in front of my face. And so anyway, I appreciate those that took part in the poll. I'm probably going to do that from time to time just because I'm curious about different things, what people think. And so expect various questions, whether it's about the events going on or whether it's about different things with the channel or something. Maybe a direction or a project or something like that I'll ask your opinion on. So anyway, yeah, DC was interesting. I watched Oreo Express, and when I say mostly I watched, let me rephrase that. As you know, I've got kind of a few monitors in front of me here, and so what I'll do is I'll typically put up usually Oreo Express on the TV actually up there, and I'll run that audio. And but on the screens here, I'll usually have one or two different streams up on these screens here, and then I just do my regular business whatnot on here. And so I try to keep an eye on as many streams and stuff like that, especially with these convoys, because different streams are at different locations within the convoy. And so you can get a little bit of a better idea of what's going on throughout the entire convoy by watching these multiple streams. And man, I mainly had the audio up for Oreo Express. And a lot of that is because, well, he's not in a semi with a really loud horn. And so I appreciate that he's not in a semi with a really loud horn, considering that everything that comes through the TV or the computer goes through a stereo system. So, yeah, loud is loud. So anyway, as they were traversing through, they did something different today. Instead of just going around the Beltway and circling all of DC, if I've got the highways correct, they took 495 around to 395, then went to 295, and then back on to 495, and then back out of the Beltway. And wow, you want to talk about triggered people? You want to talk about triggered mayors? The mayor ordered all of the exit ramps, closed off, blocked. So I'm not sure which departments it was, if it was DC Metro or who it was. Pardon me, but every single exit was blocked off. And so that caused a lot of problems, because not only did you have the trucks that are in a convoy driving through that normally wouldn't have been such a big deal, right? Because all the other traffic, the people that are going about their daily lives, would have been able to get off on the exits and go about their business. However, when the mayor, in such his bright wisdom, decided to close off all those exits, well, those people who expected they were going to be able to get off and go where they needed to go, now they're stuck on the highway. So there was quite the traffic jam today. And angers were flying, and not with the convoy folks, but with the other folks. I seen a whole lot of middle fingers today. Somebody even had rolled down their window and tried to spit on Julius, that's riding with Oreo. Literally tried to spit on Julius. There was another incident to where I guess, I don't know, there was some kind of evil eyeing going back and forth, and I guess the DC person, I'll call him, ran into the back, I guess very low speed, ran into the back of another vehicle. It was kind of comical. But, wow. You want to talk about the difference in people? Because out away from D.C., that convoy is largely loved. They typically don't, the people don't have a problem with them. Most of the people are fine with them. Most of the people want them there. But the amount of hatred that they got when they went down through the middle of there, that was crazy. Never seen anything like that during this entire convoy, this entire thing yet. And so that was interesting. I do have tonight's meeting queued up, and I figured I would play tonight's meeting from Oreo Express's channel. I will be cutting out the doctor. There was a doctor, and I don't know if Saznak got tonight by YouTube, or if he took that video down. Hopefully he didn't get got. Oreo said he got. I don't know if he did or not. So, I guess we'll probably know for sure on that tomorrow. But, or maybe even tonight if Saznak decides to pop on for a bit if he didn't get caught. But anyway, I've got that I'm going to play. Like I said, I got to cut the doctor out, because if I don't cut the doctor out, YouTube's going to cut me out, and I don't want that to happen. So Brian's going to speak, and then when Brian's done speaking, then the doctor speaks, but I'm going to skip through that, and then you'll hear from Mike Landis. So all right, so here is Brian, and Brian was starting to answer a question. You may wonder how this starts out. Brian was starting to answer a question, and this person, they were a little bit early, and this person wanted to say a prayer, and so I'm not playing the prayer part of that, but Brian had started to answer a question before he allowed this guy to speak. And so now he's just finishing up answering that question, because it's going to start out a little weird. I figured I would explain it. So anyway, here's Brian Brazzi, and when it's time, I'll fast forward it to Mike Landis.
Yes. So yeah.
And once again, the channel is Oreo Express. So you can probably see it down there, but I just want to make sure that it's clear that, who it is, because I want him to get the props, him to get the credit. If you want to follow stuff going on with the convoy, this is one of many awesome channels to follow. So that's the one thing about this. There is a whole lot of channels to follow. So that's a very, very good thing. If anybody has any problems finding one to follow, just ask me, because I've got several that I follow. So anyway, Brian.
To get back on what you just said, man, in order to get to that level, we got to work on the foundation of this country first. And that starts with everybody, but the cars, the campers, the motorcycles, and the golf carts that can keep up. This is for everybody. This is for the American people. And on a bigger scale, this is for the people around the world. Around the world. It's not just us. It's not just us affected by this. It's every country around the world. And the people around the world need to also stand up. Your time to stand up was February 23rd. It was last year. Your time to stand up has passed, but not over yet. But the date in which you should have started already came. But it's not too late. It's not too late, because we're still here. Canada stood up. Canada's regrouping right now. Canada is regrouping, and Canada should regroup. Absolutely should regroup. There's a lot of people high up in these ivory towers or these fancy buildings. A lot of people that are hiding behind, I better not say it, they'll ban me off of something. But people that claim to be experts in this, that have been able to be proven that they're wrong through science. Their own colleagues have been ousted because they chose to stand up. Nurses have been ousted because they chose to stand up and say something is wrong here. The very same people that were considered heroes at the beginning of the pandemic are losing their jobs because they don't believe in the vaccine. And even if they do, but choose not to put it into their body yet, they're losing their jobs because they chose to exercise their constitutional rights. Every single person here, I want you to know, I'm not personally anti-vax. I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-mandate. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a professor. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you what's right and wrong when it comes to these vaccines and the medical stuff. I trust the experts to tell me what is right. And when you got half and half in the medical industry saying this is wrong, I believe it deserves some more research. And I definitely believe that it's wrong to mandate me to put it into my arm. I believe it's wrong to mandate college students in order to go get their higher education to get the jab. I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong because I'm not only as an American, but as a human being walking the earth. A human being walking the earth. As a human, not just as an American, but as a human. You have God-given rights. You have, for those of you that may be saying God-given rights is a bit too much, that's fine. You have human rights.
We work for him.
It doesn't matter. It's not a right issue. It's not a left issue. It's a human issue. It's an American issue. To try to continuously paint us as some far-right movement or anti-vaxxers as a whole is wrong. You all know that's not the case. And anybody out there doubting what we're doing or not believing in what we're saying or not or thinking that we're wasting our time, you need to come down here. You need to spend 2 or 3 days down here, and then when you're done doing that, when you're done meeting these folks that are here, when you're done hearing the stories of the people that are losing everything, then you tell me what this movement is really about. Until then, shut up. You don't have a right to talk about these people until you came down here and meet these people. Just my personal opinion. What? Yes. There's chili back there. Thank you. Thanks. I'm going to wait until I'm done here before I go. For everybody. They want you all to know there's chili back here. Just giving you crap. For those of you, I'm sure you're already aware, I'm just going to go right on into this subject right away. We're going to get started here. Today was a win! Let's break down this win, shall we? Because I already seen the articles coming out about how we messed up traffic. You want to know who messed up traffic? The officers that blocked all the exits. They messed up the traffic. Not us. You want to know who caused accidents today? Not the truck drivers, not the People's Convoy, the law enforcement that chose to block exits that caused people to turn around on the interstate caused those accidents. They messed up, not us. That's a win. Before you go and blaming the People's Convoy for the mess on the Beltway today, before you go and blame us for missing your exit, you can thank the D.C. Metro Police for locking up the exits. We did not do that. What that was, what that really truly was, fear. We won the day. We have so many wins at this point, I can't even keep track of them all anymore. We are united. There is nothing more scary than united citizens of the United States. We won today. No plans of going into D.C. proper, and yet they shut down every single exit. We didn't mess up traffic. They did. So all of you watching from home on these live streams and YouTubers and Facebook Lives and whatever else is out there, if there happens to be any mainstream here or watching or monitoring. Hi, Zach. I know you're watching. Wasn't us. Wasn't us. Better go ask Metro PD for a comment on their decision to lock up exits for no reason. We have always stayed true to our message. We have always worked with them and told them what we were going to do. We have continued that positive relationship, and let me tell you something else. We're going to keep continuing that positive relationship because we have done nothing wrong. We are law-abiding. We are peaceful. And we will continue to do what we are doing. We will continue to remind the American government and the people around the world that our government officials work for us. This does not end. You did not bully us from continuing to do this. In fact, you just ignited the entire nation. You messed up. You got us out there on the mainstream today. Thank you. You know,
We're not a secret anymore.
definitely not hiding us, that's for sure. Let me tell you, man, it's unbelievable that they risked the lives of the motoring public today. They risked the motoring public's lives by what they did. And the thing is, if somebody would have got seriously hurt today, who do you think they would have blamed for it? Us. But we know the truth. It was their fault today. Their fault. For something we weren't even going to do, we just changed up the route. Apparently they got a little scared. Personally, it makes me extremely happy to see them do that because it just shows that we are sending a message. Shows that they know we're here and that we ain't going nowhere. So to all of you back home right now that are worried about joining us, wondering if we're still here, wondering what we're doing, turn the keys to the right and come on down. Come on down. To the haters out there, keep on hating. You're making us famous. We have made history. We literally have made history. From Adelanto, California, all the way to here, that was history. 7,000 vehicles, 30 miles long across Oklahoma. You think they'll talk about that ever in the history books? Probably not.
They should.
But we definitely need to make sure that we tell our future generations what we've done here. We have to tell them what we've done here. This fight, I don't know if there's ever an end date to this. I don't believe there is. I don't believe there's ever going to be an end date because this is something that you have to continue to fight for and stand up for the rest of your life. Remember, I said it starts at home. It starts in your communities. It starts on your school boards. It starts in your city councils. It starts in your mayor's office. It starts with your state legislation. It starts with the governor. It starts with all of you right here, right now. It takes organizing these states to go to state capitals. The fight isn't just here, but it's back home for all of us too. Your family members that support you being here, tell them to gear up their state. Because the time is coming very near when it's becoming more and more evident by the lack of communication from those sitting up on their ivory towers of Capitol Hill. The time is showing very near that it's time to bring this fight to every state capital across the nation. It is time. Now is the time. Organize your state now. Go to your state capitals now. Get these convoys going. You don't need truckers. You don't need truckers to organize it. The people need to speak up. Truckers may spearhead it, but the People's Convoy is made up of the people. To the truckers out there, you probably feel the same way I do. Sometimes to get something done, you just got to do it yourself. If that's the case, then you truckers across America, fire up your state and head to the capital. Your state capitals. Those of you that want to come down here.
Well, I guess that's... I hope they didn't get Oreo. He actually cut that out, so I don't know why that did that. Because he actually cut that video out. Hang on. Video has been removed by the uploader. Well, at least it doesn't say it's been removed by they, those, them. So that's good. Well, sorry I can't play the rest of the thing tonight. I mean, I could pull it up on another one, but you know, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how the drivers meeting went tonight. The meeting went tonight. They'll be meeting at 9. I don't remember, 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. They will be meeting, and they're going to do the same thing. Essentially, they're going to take the same route. So that ought to be interesting. And as long as Oreo didn't get got, then I would suggest that you follow him. There's plenty of channels to follow. There's let's see. There's a channel, and the last name I'll never be able to say, but it starts out Polish Agnes. And if you can't put in Polish Agnes and be able to find that channel, then I don't know what to tell you, because I don't think there's very many that's going to have a name close to that. So Polish Agnes, and I don't know how that last name's pronounced. So that's one. Travel Fun 69 is another. Zot, Z-O-T, that's Zulu Oscar Tango, Zot. That is a good channel to follow. Saznak, and he just put out a video, I guess, that says YouTube pulled me. So what I am thinking, and the reason I'm thinking that he's able to even put that out, is because the first time you get in trouble, you get your hand slapped. And so that might have been his first time, so he got his hand slapped. He got his video taken down, and they gave him a warning. The next time will be a strike. And you only get one warning. That your warning never goes away. So your strikes go away after time, as long as you don't get 3 and get got totally, be dehumaned off the platform. As long as that doesn't happen, your strikes, I think 6 months or something like that, I don't know, they fall away. Our prior strike that we had actually fallen away, and then bam, we get nailed with another one. So I have a feeling this is going to be like back in the days when I was driving. For a good part of my life, I pretty much always drove on a ticket. I would get one ticket squared away, one ticket, and mainly my younger life, I guess, but I'd get one ticket taken care of, get my driver's license back, because here in the state of Illinois, they would actually take your driver's license and you would have to drive on the ticket. And anyway, I would just get my driver's license back, which was always kind of a happy moment. and then, damn it, I'd get nailed again for something or another. Usually it was speeding or loud exhaust, but anyway, oh, sorry, I should have kicked that back up. So, but anyway, that's what the deal is with that. I'll be keeping an eye on the convoy again tomorrow and seeing what goes on. I do have some tabs open, and I figured I would run through those, and not a lot. Fair amount. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on them though, and then I'll just get the headlines and we'll get the hell out of here. But like I say, it was an interesting day today. It was exhausting just trying to keep up watching the screens, the different streams, and just trying to get a feel, because when they started to get jammed up, the convoy really got split up. I mean, it split them up pretty good. Trucker G, who was actually the lead truck today, he made it through pretty quick and pretty easy. And hell, he was on his way back to Hagerstown with ease. And there wasn't very many people that got through with him. And then after that, there was a pretty good space, because people just got all jammed up in D.C. on the highway right there in the middle of D.C. I guess they're not technically, I don't know. I don't know if they're technically in D.C. as long as they stay on that highway or not. I think they're okay to be on that highway. It's not illegal or anything. But I don't think that they're supposed to go off of that highway into the city. I think that if I understand it correctly, they have to have a permit to do that. Even, I guess, on a regular basis. In other words, like if you have it, I don't know if this is the case or not. I'm just assuming this from hearing some things they said. I guess if you have a delivery in D.C., I guess you have to have a permit or something to be able to deliver that load in D.C. So I guess it's a way that they regulate what trucks are down there, because, it's a larger vehicle. You could put something pretty nasty in the back of a semi-truck. So I kind of understand that, considering, security issues there. It is what it is. But there again, I don't know. None of it makes a lot of sense, because if it was something that nasty, it wouldn't matter if they were on the highway or down inside, But anyway, I would recommend keeping an eye out tomorrow on those streams when they start playing. Anyway, let me take you on back to the browser view here, and I'll just run through these, and if I need to talk a little, or read a little bit of it, I will. Here it says White House vows to hold Iran accountable for missile strike, and that was the one that Iran claimed that they took towards Afghanistan. Beijing wants U.S. to open biolabs to international experts. Now, I thought this was a really interesting declaration. It says here, Washington should prove that the global network of biolabs funded by the Pentagon does not conduct nefarious research by subjecting the facilities to international scrutiny. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said during a daily briefing on Monday. If the U.S. wants to prove their activity is benign, why not open those biolabs to independent examination by international experts, he asked. So I'm kind of curious as to just how much pressure is going to be put on them when it comes to this. Let's see. This was kind of a eye-catching headline when I saw it earlier. Nuclear war is within the realm of possibility. This is coming from the UN chief. And it says here, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned on Monday that an ongoing escalation of war in Ukraine, whether by accident or design, will threaten the entire of humanity. He further alarmed that the conflict may end up in the nuclear apocalypse. The prospect of nuclear conflict, once unthinkable, is now back within the realm of possibility, Guterres said. Guterres' comments on nuclear war were made in relation to President Vladimir Putin raising Russia's deterrent forces, which include various strategic weapons, both nuclear and conventional, to special alert last month, a development the UN chief called bone-chilling. So, I hope not. I hope not. Israel. This headline came out earlier. Let me have a sip of coffee. Israel hit by largest ever cyber attack, says media. I find that interesting, and I wanted to, make sure to point this article out because I think this is something that, as each day goes by, we face a bigger threat of. I really do believe so. And it's already been, revealed, if you will, that they've already been in our systems. Hackers have already been in our infrastructure. I wouldn't be surprised if at any time they could do whatever they wanted, to be honest. I just think that currently there's not the intent. So, keep an eye on this. But anyway, this says the websites of Israel's Interior, Health, Justice, and Welfare Ministries, as well as the Prime Minister's office, were taken offline on Monday in what a defense source claimed was the largest ever cyber attack against Israel. Authorities believe a state actor or large organization was responsible. Israeli newspaper Haaretz reported that the cyber strike, citing a defense establishment source who claimed it to be the worst ever to hit the Jewish state. The attack reportedly targeted sites using the gov.il domain, which serves all Israeli government websites except defense-related ones. The government database is one such site and a potential target for cyber criminals. So, it says here access to some of the affected sites was restored on Monday night, but Israel's defense establishment and the National Cyber Directorate have declared a state of emergency while websites of strategic importance, such as those related to the country's water and power infrastructure, can be checked for signs of compromise. And I don't know, and I don't honestly think it has anything to do with this, but I don't know where Russia's at on them getting away from the big WWW. I know they were saying, the 11th they were supposed to disconnect, I thought I heard. I never heard anything else, so I don't have any Russian friends that I can email and ask. Well, let me clarify that. I don't have any Russian friends that live in Russia that I can contact and ask, so there's that. Let's see. Russia sends message to foreign mercenaries in Ukraine. This here says Western governments encouraging their citizens to enlist in Ukraine will be responsible for their death, the Russian Ministries of Defense said on Monday, vowing to continue the strikes, such as one that destroyed the Yavorov base and show no mercy to mercenaries. All locations of foreign mercenaries in Ukraine are known to us, Russian military spokesman Major General Igor Konishnikov said in a statement on Monday. I want to warn you again, there will be no mercy for the mercenaries, no matter where they are on the territory of Ukraine. So, I have a feeling that this is going to get ugly, because I have a feeling that there are going to be individuals that are killed from NATO nations, and I do think this is going to escalate. I really do. China in a couple of the tabs here. U.S. warns China against helping Russia. Says here the U.S. has warned China against helping Russia in any way, the White House confirmed on Monday, following a meeting between President Joe Biden's top advisor and top Chinese diplomat. Should China provide military or other assistance to Russia, there will be significant consequences, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters. As to what that might entail, Psaki only said the U.S. will coordinate with our partners and allies to make that determination. Her comments come after the meeting in Rome between Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Chinese envoy Yang Jiechi. I'm sure I said that way wrong. While the meeting had been in the works for months and involved a lengthy agenda, the conflict in Ukraine was also discussed. And then this article had came out. I thought it was a bit interesting as well. China names world's hacking empire, and it says, calling the U.S. a hacking empire of the world, the Chinese Foreign Ministry urged Washington to stop malicious cyber activities following reports that American hackers subverted a network in China to launch attacks on Russia and Belarus. China is gravely concerned about cyber attacks against other countries that originate from the U.S. and use China as a springboard, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian told reporters at a press briefing on Monday. Zhao was commenting on a recent Chinese media reports that hackers, mainly from the U.S. but also from NATO allies, Germany and the Netherlands, recently hijacked a Chinese computer network for cyber attacks, 87% of which targeted Russia. Interesting. And I am aware of doing things like this. Interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, be prepared. Be ready. Because anything gives at this point in time. Anything gives. Our systems, whether it be our just-in-time delivery systems, whether they be our infrastructure, communications, whatever, they're all fragile. And the loss of any one, not to mention all of those, would be insane. So be ready, because I do expect something major to happen. It's not impossible that the big WWW could be taken down. That's not an impossibility whatsoever. It's not an impossibility that major infrastructure won't be taken down. So all those things we need to be ready for. Anything's, and I'm not trying to fearmonger. I don't do that here. But I have to be honest, and anything really is possible. And I know that may sound cliche, but we are at a pretty sketchy moment in history right now. And I don't know which way this is going to pan out. I just hope we all continue to have just a little more and a little more and a little more time to keep getting ready, Because I know I'm sure the hell not 110% all sewed up the way I would like to be. And I'm sure many of you aren't as well. So, yeah, more time would be nice. But it seems like things are happening very, very quickly. So anyway, let me have a sip of coffee, a couple of vapes. We'll do some headlines and call it a night. I'm glad they took a different trip around D.C. because that other route was getting kind of boring to watch from a computer screen. And, seen it multiple times. Nice to see some new sights. They went pretty much alongside the Pentagon. Pentagon wasn't that far away from where they went through at. They were relatively close to the Washington Monument. So I don't know that area around there, but like I said, they went 495 around to 395 up to 295 and then back to 495. I can tell you that. Because I too, you didn't get to hear that part of it. It was actually kind of comical. Mike Landis was talking when he was speaking. Was talking about how he pulled up. Well, he started getting phone calls from radio stations and stuff. And so he thought, oh, what the hell? So he pulled open Google Maps, which I had been doing and had been doing that, pretty much every day they go out on the Beltway or whatever. I'll keep an eye on Google Maps because you can see, you pull up traffic, you can see right where they are. And he, like he said, right through the middle of D.C., a dark red line. It was kind of comical. But tomorrow ought to be even more interesting because everybody understands the assignment, and I'm curious if they're gonna block off the exits again. You know what? That ought to be a poll. No, I'm curious though if they're gonna block off the exits. That's be interesting. All right, let me have a couple vapes here. Got my lemon lime. Well, bottle that size will actually last quite a bit because for every, well, this is actually a 120 milliliter bottle. This also is a 120 milliliter bottle, and in a 120 milliliter bottle, I only need 1.2 milliliters of this when I make up a recipe. So, out of 150 milliliters, or 120 milliliters, that's not a lot. In other words, that's a lot of batches. And that's why I'm saying that's why I do this. That's why I vape, right? I like nicotine. I've liked nicotine ever since I was a teenager. And I'm sure I could quit. I'm sure I could just bump down on the nicotine and stuff like that. But I actually enjoy vaping, just like I enjoyed smoking. If it wasn't for the health issues and the expense, I would still smoke because I like the taste of a cigarette. I like cigarettes. But I can't afford that. I can't come close to affording that. And moderate COPD is a wake-up call. And there's even if I could afford it, nah, I'll stick to vaping. It doesn't make my condition any worse. And my condition may get worse just naturally, because that's just the way it is. But it's not going to be due to vaping. So, anyway. Tomorrow I'll be making me my pink Starburst vape. Good stuff. All right. Okay, starting out with all articles I shared out from this morning. Russian embassy dismisses report about nationalization threats. Australia sanctions Russian businessmen, including Chelsea club owner. Baltic state asks for permanent U.S. troop deployment. Let's see, cover that one. China devises rules for healthy environment online, in order to keep your social credit score high. Japan willing to offer Ukraine nuclear assistance. Instagram ban comes into effect in Russia. Zelensky reveals Putin meeting goal. Russian space agency reveals its plan for American astronaut on ISS. Because they were threatening, I think they were kind of threatening leaving him up there. NATO entering, and that would, I think they've got escape pods, so, it's not like there would absolutely be no way he would be able to get back. Not only that, but, Musk or somebody would be able to get up there and get him, I would think somehow. But they've got pods, I do believe, like emergency pods. So they could cruise one down, I would imagine. Let's see. NATO entering conflict in Ukraine would mean World War III, says European Council head, which is kind of a given. This critical food item is about to run out in Europe, and I don't know which food item to tell you, so sunflower oil. I hate it when the headline doesn't give you enough information to understand at least the basis of it. Germany to buy F-35 fighter jets, says the media. Beijing wants U.S. to... I covered that one. UK slammed over dodgy umbrella companies. Meta clarifies policy on calls for assassinating heads of state. Elon Musk warns of risk for Tesla. UN estimates number of Ukrainians displaced. Australian PM unveils logo for new women's network, and it looks oddly phallic. Oh, you've got to see this. You have got to see this. That is the Women's Network logo. I mean, really? I want to know how hard they were laughing when they were coming up with that logo. That's what I want to know. How hard were they laughing? Anyway, Russia hit with compensation claim over MH17. Japanese firms have no plans to abandon Russian energy projects, says the media. Civilians killed as Donetsk hit by ballistic missile, the DPR says. UK comments on number of Ukrainian refugees it will take. A major medical paper opposes academic boycott of Russia. NBA icons baffled by ridiculous vaccination rules. China accuses U.S. of disinformation. World's third biggest oil consumer snubs calls to avoid Russia crude, says the media. Mustard Museum issues demands to Russia. So you take that, Russia. If you don't knock it off, the Mustard Museum will never, ever put back on display any type of Russian mustard again. Ever. Now, you thought the sanctions were rough. We'll just get the Mustard Museum after you, and that'll be that. Kremlin clarifies Russian forces strategy in Ukraine. Russia issues strong warning to leaving firms. NATO member vows to build up air defense after drone incident. Chinese ambassador summoned over Navy ship intrusion. Taiwan claims Chinese Air Force planes entered its defense zone. Germany to approve record high defense spending, says media. Germany announces changes to arms supplies for Ukraine. Russian wheat exports plunge. UK denies Julian Assange's extradition appeal, says WikiLeaks. West accused of engineering artificial default in Russia. EU state asks Poland to halt Ukrainian refugee train, says minister. Russian pianist chained himself to a McDonald's. I'm thinking he must really like McDonald's and mad because they were closing all their stores. I'm assuming. Nuclear war is within the realm of possibility, says the UN chief. A senator suggests plan to axe Fauci's NIAID post. Russia vows response to Slovakia's unjustified action. Another drone falls on soil of Ukraine's NATO neighbor. There's a lot of headlines. Israel hit by largest ever... I covered that one. 161,000 to face catastrophic famine over conflicts, a report says. Fox News reporter injured near Kiev. A Russian space agency chief weighs on military applicable new orbital station. Russia sends message to foreign... Oh, I covered that one. I covered that one and that one. Yeah, that was all of them. Those last three I had up. So, anyway, wow. I still got done before 9, my time. That's not bad. Anyway, I don't know of anything else. I'm probably going to pop on over and watch the streams. Where's the poll at? So, most people think, how many people? There were 12 votes, and 42% says tyranny. That took the lead. Economy is number 2, followed by war, and then food shortages came in last on the polls. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'll have to remember to do that. I do kind of enjoy doing stuff like that, so I'll have to try to remember to do that when I set up the shows. I'll throw a poll up, and sometimes it'll be about the current events. Other times it might be about the channel or something. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here and kick back the rest of the evening, and well, I'll probably be going to bed pretty quick. That's the way it usually goes, and because we're just so exciting, we're partiers. I'm telling you. Usually by the time 10 o'clock comes around, we're already in bed. So, living that life, man. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. I appreciate everybody coming. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.